Hey everyone, I am here with Callie Green, the Arts and Cultural Coordinator for the Springfield Cultural Partnership, correct?
Yep.
It's good to have you here, and today we want to talk about this past jazz festival. It was the 10-year anniversary. We had a great time, and Callie and her boss, Karen Finn, the executive director of the Springfield Cultural Partnership, had an art tent in Tower Square Park, and it was a total vibe. I want to talk to you more about that. Thank you for coming, first
Thank
of
you
all.
for having me. I appreciate it.
So, what did you think of the Jazz Festival? Did you have a good time?
I definitely had a good time. It was my first Jazz Fest.
Yay!
So
I
the
love
10th
that.
the 10th year or the 10th anniversary for that to be my first one, I think was like super special because you guys went all out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really enjoyed myself. I felt like I've never been to any other festival like that in Springfield
Really?
specifically, and I definitely want to be there next year.
Oh, of course. You're definitely going to be there next year.
Yeah.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you for noticing that we went all out because we really did. But let's talk more about the art tent and like what you guys were doing in there. Can you give us like a rundown of like the different projects and like what it was like in there on the Saturday? It was in Tower Square Park, correct?
Yeah, so Karen and I in the Springfield Cultural Partnership, a big part of our role is to just help people in art and culture related ways, but also give artists opportunities at the same time. So we were able to recruit, I want to say it was 8 artists or 6. There were 2 shifts. So I want to say there were 8 artists, 4 on one shift, 4 on another shift. And we paid them stipends to come and do activities with children and their families. So some of our activities were homemade maracas with biodegradable spoons and
I love those.
the plastic eggs with beans in it. We had dance ribbons, which were so cute. This one woman, I showed her my dance ribbon because I was so happy and she thought I gave it to her, so I never got it back. And then we also did a community puzzle, which was like our favorite. We ran out of puzzle pieces, how many people were at the Jazz Fest, but I want to say we got 150 people to participate in our community puzzle. And then we were able to like put it all together. So it was just really awesome to see people working together. All of us were new to Jazz Fest, so we were all out of our comfort zones. It was a growth moment for everyone, but we definitely held it down in our art tent. So
For sure. I did like going into the art tent. I loved that there was a face painter there as well. Seriously, when I walked in, there was like such a zen, peaceful moment, and everybody was so happy, and I love to see that. And I think in general, in the Tower Square Park area where the Urban Roots stage was, it was like, it had a huge community feel. And I think the art tent was like a great representation of that, right? So was there any stories or anything that like stuck out to you that day? Because thank God it was beautiful because the day before it was pouring. We really lucked out there. But does anything stick out to you?
yeah, I want to say there were a few special moments. We had moments where we got people that don't often participate in art to just draw a puzzle piece, or it was nice how inspiring people were being on their own. They were just saying things and writing things on their pieces like, oh, smile, or just this so uplifting. Like, and we had no influence in whatever they were doing. We believe in like freedom of artist expression. So we allowed people to just express how they were feeling. We had one instance where there was a grandmother and her grandson, and she was 82 years old, and she did not look it at whatsoever. Grandma was hip. And then her son, I want to say, her grandson was 8 years old. And she spent time talking to me because I had met her at a previous community engagement event, and she was very kind. But at that one, she didn't even have her grandson with her, and we were just explaining what we were doing. She wasn't interested, but we got her grandson to participate, and he spent so much time at our tent just drawing his puzzle piece and filling it in. He covered every spot he could on it. And she was just so taken back by the fact that he was so focused on art, and his puzzle piece came out beautiful, and she was like, wow, like I didn't even know he liked art. And not only does he like art, but he's great at it.
Yeah.
So it was just a great moment for her as well, to just discover something new about her grandson. And a part of the partnership, we also love to give people resources and things like that. So we definitely told them about Make It Springfield, which was right around the corner. So we let her know like she could take her grandson there to do arts and crafts or just explore his creativity more.
Yeah.
Like, so that was definitely one of our more memorable moments. And I think like she'll always remember that too. So.
Right. And okay, so there's so many different pieces of that that I love so much. One, the impact, being able to see that instant, nonprofit, sometimes you don't get to see instant impact like that.
Yeah.
And being able to see instant impact like that is incredible. The second piece of that is like being able to create spaces like this for people, especially when life gets so busy sometimes and you're just, living life, trying to do what you need to do. We don't really center art and like culture as much as we should, right? Or as much as we can. So being able for them to share that moment, like in the different generations is such an incredible thing. Like you said 87?
82 and 8. So,
wow.
What is that? 74 years apart?
I'm not great at math, girl.
So I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say 74 years apart.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love that you pointed that out. Like, for them to be so far in generations and be able to connect in the instance of art like that, it was special. It was so special. And I feel like that alone made her day. Like, she's like, I've never seen him so focused ever.
Right.
And you know what it takes to get an 8-year-old to be still?
Especially in the digital age where, like, everything is, like, phones and, like, being able to, again, like, you guys created this space and facilitated this space, and the energy that was there, they were able to have this moment, and now we're able to share this moment. And like, just hearing about that makes everything about that festival just like totally be like, yes, this was the point. This is the objective, is to make sure that there's spaces and like different kinds of activities for all different kinds of arts, not just music, like being able to have that space. And he made a beautiful puzzle piece.
Yeah, and it being you guys having a free festival where you are able to dabble in all these different types of art forms, I think is amazing too, because it makes it so that everyone can come. It's not there. We're not excluding anyone. It's for whoever wants to be there, and I think people really do take advantage of that. So,
well, thank you for sharing that story. I really appreciate you. I appreciate Karen. I appreciate that grandma and her grandson, because that's exactly what our objectives are for these for the community. Like, it's important that, there's a music festival and everybody can come hear music, but like you said, the inclusivity part, these intersections, that you make sure everybody has a good time. So I can't wait to work with you again next year. Let's see what else we can get done. Thank you for coming to talk to me.
thank you for having me, and I also look forward to working together.